maybe the stone rolls away from his eyes, and he understands that this is not a smart decision. And
I think this is a done deal.
It probably is. I'm just being hopeful.
I don't think this is going to be reversed. I guess our conversation is about, is there room for this in baseball?
No,
I don't think so.
There's no room for politics in baseball. And you know what? As a matter of fact, sports is the one thing, it's one of the very few things that everybody from all groups of people, rich, poor, whatever your ethnicity is, can all get behind. And now they've even managed to politicize that. One of the few things that we can all pretty much agree on, even if it's not your team, we may pick on different teams, but we're all at least in it together. It's something that we have in common, and now they've been able to politicize that and try to divide us even more. So I say keep politics out of baseball, keep it out of sports in general. Let sports be sports, let politics be politics.
Yeah.
Well, my problem is who was clamoring for this? Who was saying this new state law is so bad we want a baseball to pull out the All-Star game? This solely came from baseball. Head down, Rob Manfred decided, I don't like this law. I'm going to pull the All-Star game out. I don't want anything to do with that.
You think this was driven by the commissioner, and then he just went and rallied support behind it?
Yeah, it had to have. Well, I mean, President Biden came out and spoke and said that there should, baseball should do something like that. So he just kind of followed, based on what Biden said. But other than that, no one else was clamoring. I mean, it's 3 months away. Nobody's even thinking about the All-Star. I didn't even know it was in Atlanta this year until they said they're going to move it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I could see maybe there's some people in Georgia that might have tweeted a few things. I didn't see any of them. I didn't hear, not that I'm the definitive, if I don't hear about it, it doesn't happen. But, if you don't hear about it in national news like that, you don't think it's an issue. But all of a sudden, boom, gone. Silly.
Interesting to me because baseball is probably one of the most diverse sports we have in our country.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I'm just look at the Rays alone. I mean, holy cow. I mean, Chinese, Japanese, Dominican
Koreans.
Republic. Yeah, Korean, absolutely. Oh, and Americans. So
Mexicans. I mean, Canadians. Chief's right. I mean, it's the one thing that almost any American can get behind. If you don't like baseball, fine, but at least you can get behind the spirit of it and the camaraderie of it, and just go into. Matter of fact, I was looking back at my Facebook post from 5 or 6 years ago. I wrote a little something about standing shoulder to shoulder, and it seems a little ridiculous now, but standing shoulder to shoulder with strangers and singing the national anthem, and that's all the stuff we miss, and you all stand and be unified for that. And then you go and pull stuff like this. You like Chief said, you're just further dividing a nation that is already struggling to stay united.
Yeah. Let me just point out real quick what we're talking about here is just whether our opinion is whether sports should take on politics. We're not sharing any opinions or ideas of whether we think that Georgia law was good, bad, or indifferent. That's not for here. But I just think like when you do something like this, now you're making it an issue within your sport that doesn't necessarily have to be. I think there's so many other things that you could focus on than this, because now what you're going to have is people are going to make this political, and some people are going to choose not to watch Major League Baseball because of this. Some people are going to be staunch supporters of Major League Baseball because of this. And it just creates like, hey, at one time we all just enjoyed baseball. Now we've got to make it a thing where it doesn't have to be a thing. That's the problem that I have with it. And, I know you, Pooh Bear, you said, and I didn't see that, but Biden came out with support of it. And then, you got the former POTUS, who doesn't have Twitter, come out against it. And by the way, you're not the president anymore, dude. Just go enjoy Florida. We don't need to hear from you. It's crazy.
It's sad. So, but you're setting a precedent here. There's two things you're doing. One, you're being hypocritical of all the other things you've ignored up until this point, where you're thinking, okay, well, we can stay silent on the fact that all of our uniforms are made by Nike, right? Well, Nike is one of the most egregious users of sweatshop labor in China. Okay, so that's a little bit hypocritical of saying that this human right violation is okay, but this one over here in this state is not, right? And then two, now what if a state law passes in Texas that you don't like, or one in California that you don't like? You're going to start pulling teams out. You're going to start pulling events from them. Now you have to maintain that consistency. Otherwise, your message was
setting a precedent. Yeah, you're kind of setting a precedent. Yeah.
That's where I have a problem with this.
Hey, by the way, Tropicana Field is open for the All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean, I'll gladly buy a ticket and go to that, I think.
You know,
I was going to say, now Cougars made me feel bad about wearing my new jersey because it may have been made in a sweatshop somewhere. I don't know.
Well, I mean, listen, it's the reality.
Should I take it off? I don't know if I should take it off in protest or what am I supposed to do with this thing now? I don't know. I was pretty happy about it 10 minutes ago.
All right. Well, listen, let's